Aflag and Praise TV proudly present Rights in Focus with Aflag.
For some, marriage is a God ordained institution. For others, it is just a social contract. In Ghana, we have three types of marriage: the Christian marriage, the Islam or Mohammedan marriage, and then the traditional or customary marriage. All these marriages hinge on faith and spirituality. Mostly, what happens is that all emphasize on commitment, love, respect, and integrity. There are so many things that happen as far as marriage in Africa is concerned. Others seek help when they are going through challenges, and this help is mostly spiritual or culture. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, should faith or culture be the reason why a lot of people endure abuse in their marriages? Should respect be mutual? Should it be one partner giving us respect whilst the other does not? Also, what happens with finances in marriage? Should finances be something that both partners engage in, or it should be the responsibility of one person? To help us dissect it legally, socially, spiritually, and even culturally, we have two experts, and luckily, both of them are married. Because, of course, discussing an issue like this, you need people that are already in the institution for years so they can speak to the practicality of it and not just the theory aspect. To help us do this is Mrs. Noella Pire Povey, who has been married for over 12 years now with two beautiful children. She's a lawyer, a divorce lawyer, an insurance lawyer, and a divorce lawyer. Hello, Mrs. Lawyer Noella Pire Povey. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Hama.
We also have with us Apostle Daniel Osebunsu, who has also been married for 10 years, 11 or 10
Yeah,
years?
11.
Yeah, 11 years now. He's also a pastor, a banker actually, and also a pastor. So please, they are going to help us dissect this whole topic today. Stay tuned and welcome to Rise in Focus with Aflag. Welcome, my special guest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Good to be here. Good to see you.
And good to have you all here again.
to see
Luckily, you both have already been on this show, so it's good to have you both back on the show. Now, let's start with Apostle Daniel. From your experience, what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about marriage?
Thank you. Good to see you once again. I tell people that this thing called marriage is easy to serve God than to be married.
I like that.
It's very easy to serve God because the complexity of marriage is no joke. You know, over the years, people have suffered, people have gone through challenges, people have even died because of marriage. The misconception, number one, people say love will keep it all through. It's not true. It's not, from my point of view.
Only your point of
Yeah.
view, or from most people's point of view.
I think it depends on how people define love to be. If you are looking at love being about the feeling we have for one another, yes, it was not enough. But Apostle, if you look at 1 Corinthians 13, 4 to 8, talking about what love is, it's hard work. You know, love is kind, is patient, it does not keep records of wrong. It talks about love being accepting the truth, accepting certain rights, and that's, you know, not being angered,
Yeah.
you know, protecting the other person. It talks about trust, and all of this is hard work. So, yes, love may be enough, however, it's what you define to be love. Yes, because love is hard work. It's just not a feeling you have for another person. Yes.
What is your other misconception?
Yeah, so I enjoy this one. Thank you for taking the bite out of my mouth.
Yes.
I'm sure your viewers will enjoy it. You know, number two, people say the longer you stay in marriage, it stands that marriage is successful. People with 35 years in marriage, it's a good one. They've been 40 years in marriage, wow. But trust me, For the 40 years of their life, 2 years was only the best time they enjoyed. They will pretend, they keep all the wrongs, they hide it, and make it look nice to people. And based on that, somebody will just base the conviction that I've seen this so and so being married for 40 years. I also marry. Yeah, I want to go into it. It's beautiful when I see them walk around, they go places,
But it's all a facade.
I'm telling you, the truth had not been informed over the years. Even when countless are teaching people, leading people on to marry, they don't open these things up. They don't let us know that it is hard work, as Lawyer said. It is commitment, it's respect, it's share of responsibility, And later the guys get into it, they discover that it's not the way they thought it was,
Now, thank you for that. Lawyer Noella,
Yes.
do you think that the way marriage used to be defined in the olden days has shifted from the definition we give marriage in this current dispensation?
It has. Traditionally, when you talk about marriage, you are looking at social obligations, norms. So you marry, probably you want to become a chief, and then it's required that you should be married. You go ahead and marry. Before you can have kids, you should marry. You go ahead and marry. It was also based on gender roles. When you are marrying a woman to come and cook for you.
Yeah.
You are marrying a woman to come and wash for you, to come and take care of the house for you. It is changing. Traditionally, women were not involved in economic work. Most of the time, that was taken up by the man. He provides solely for the woman. So the woman is supposed to stay at home, nurture the man, nurture the children. But we are getting to a place where we are having economic hardships that you need both parties to be involved in economic work, to be contributing financially. So you see that the societal norms and obligations and gender roles that were expected in marriage is changing. So yes, marriage as it was 40 to 50 years ago is changing now. Let me use myself as an example, just a quick example. There are times that if I have a case that is demanding, I stay in the office till about 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Yes, so it wouldn't be expected of me to serve food to my husband, as my mom used to do every single day of his life. So yes, marriage is changing.
That was a good example.
Yes.
And also, as a lawyer, for me, what I want to know is break down some of the legal, rights and responsibilities of marriage in Ghana, like from the legal perspective.
First of all, let's start with marriage itself. When you are married, and then it gets to a point where you say that marriage has broken down beyond reconciliation, leading to divorce or something of that sort.
Okay.
There are factors legally that you should establish for the court to come to the agreement that it has broken down beyond reconciliation. You don't get up and say you must be divorced. The discretion is with the court to decide whether the marriage between the two of you has broken down beyond reconciliation. You can, that is what the law requires. The two of you can get up and say, we don't want to be married again. But it just doesn't go that way. You have to tell the court that your marriage has broken down beyond reconciliation. And the court has to agree with you. And what are the things you should be able to show? Unreasonable behavior, to the extent that you cannot reasonably be expected to live with that person. You should be able to establish that. It could be adultery, that the person has committed adultery and it has affected you in such a way that you cannot reasonably live with the person. Desertion. The person has left you. Sometimes desertion can even happen whilst the person is staying in the house. He's not talking to you. He's not doing, like you are married, but he's not doing anything with you. So those are things that you have to establish. Now, let's also look at property rights. There's always this thing that probably when you marry, it has to be, the property has to be for both of you. The Constitution guarantees that each of you can either individually acquire property or acquire property jointly. So if you are married and depending on the kind of marriage you have, you decide to own property jointly, then go ahead and own property jointly. However, being married does not prevent you, a man or a woman, from going ahead to have your individual property. Now, let's also look at parental responsibilities. You know, it's also something legal because when it comes to children, the court is always looking at what is in the best interest of the child. And each party to the marriage, you know, as a lawyer, I'm saying party, each spouse has a responsibility towards the children. They have a right to make decisions with regards to the children and also have a responsibility towards the children. So these are some of the, and inheritance is also another thing that comes in when marriage comes into play. Once you are married to someone and you do not take steps to have a divorce or have the marriage annulled or whichever steps to make the marriage non-existent, if you pass on, whether you were living with the person at the time of your death, whether you were fine or you were not fine, the person is deemed as your spouse and is entitled to whatever share of your property a spouse is supposed to be entitled to. So these are rights that come about as a result of being married.
Excellent.
Yes.
Now, Apostle Daniel, in your opinion, what are some of the biggest challenges that modern marriages face?
Number one is finance.
Okay.
You know, the behavior of every human revolves around money. Yeah. Sometimes the people will want to say, let's get married. Money will come. You know, just when we married, the Lord will open doors for us. Yeah. There has been an issue. The guys came, they said they want to marry. The guy doesn't have a job. The lady doesn't have anything to do. They know, I have a vision. I want to do this. I said, no, this thing. In as much as our God is a faithful God, He opened doors for people. Let's do the right thing. Find something to do.
Be 100%
Yeah, yeah,
or find something
yeah.
to do.
Let some profits come in. You know, by your wedding, who is going to pay for? Yeah, your suit and your gown, who is going to buy these things? Or you expect me to sow a seed? So, yeah, so you go and marry somebody's daughter. Even after that is done, where will you live? Yeah, your rent, who will pay for it? You know, so finance is a challenge. In fact, I have a friend, let me come in with this, that lost his job when there was this banking crisis and stuff. He was home for about 2 years. The marriage died because of money.
Because he wasn't providing.
He wasn't providing.
But was the wife working?
I don't want to go there. Yeah, the marriage died. You know, he couldn't take care of the kids' school fees, couldn't take care of their rent. As a matter of fact, at a point, the lady had to leave the house to go live with their parents. The guy was somewhere on the street, you know, intercession, believing God. Then he found a job. And then the lady want to come back. The guy said, oh no, be where you are.
And I think flowing from that too is about the expectations. Sometimes the expectations people have going into marriage is unrealistic. You know, we should know, we all know, things happen. You plan your life in a particular way and life happens. You can lose your job. It can be the woman, it can be the man, it can be a sick child. And all of these will bring constraints to the marriage. But when you were entering into the marriage, what were the expectations? You should know that you will have kids and you may lose a kid to death, unfortunately. It might be health issues that you never planned for. It might even be health issues of both one of the parties. You know, it can be a party losing jobs. So these are all expectations people should have going into marriage. And if we have all these realistic expectations, I think it will help with the finances bit.
Now, let me add on. What are some of the common legal disputes that couples are faced, looking at the fact that you've handled a lot of divorce cases?
So first of all, as he mentioned the finances, it comes to maintenance. Okay. Sometimes people get into the marriage and then you agree one person should do this, let the other person focus on this. Now you get to a point where you both want to go your separate ways. The one who has focused her energy and life in nurturing the home and not working, that should the person go empty-handed? So issues of alimony, issues of maintenance comes into play. The woman has not worked all her life. She doesn't have a thriving business.
Is it only the alimony or also property sharing?
Property sharing is also another thing that comes into play, because people limit contribution to acquisition of property to financial contribution, and it's not that. The woman might have been the one going to site supervising the work. There are instances where the women say they were the one fetching water for the site because they want to cut down costs for their husband. They were the ones cooking for the workers in order to cut down costs. They are all contributions.
Yeah.
You know, so all of these things come into play. There are illegal issues concerning custody. So when the marriage is breaking down, and then who should have primary custody of the kids, who should have visiting rights, who should have access rights. And you realize that most people want to use that to settle scores. So I know this woman, the only thing that she holds dear is the kids. So I can't take care of the kids. I don't want to do anything with the kids. It's not because being with me will be in the best interest of the kids, but let me take the kids to help this woman. Or the woman will also say, look, I don't want this man, he's very responsible. He wants to see his child every day, want to go play football with him, you know, go for ballet with the girl. And then the woman will give excuses why he cannot see the girl, just to help the man. So these are some of the legal issues that come into play when marriages are concerned. And I must state, people think it must only be divorce. All right. Yes, people think it's only during divorce you can accept these rights. No. Whilst the marriage is ongoing, if my husband is taking certain steps that is to my disadvantage with regards to property we jointly acquired, I can take legal steps to stop him. I can go by application to protect that. Not that I want us to divorce, no, but I have an interest in the property which I want to protect. If my husband is doing certain things with regards to the kids, which is not right, I can take steps to protect the interest of the kids without going in for divorce. That's what most people don't know. They think you must necessarily divorce in order to have access to those other things.
The minute you engage a lawyer, it means you are looking
No.
at divorce.
And the man can equally do it.
Yeah, the man can equally do
Yes,
that.
yes, very well.
You need to call to order.
Very
Okay,
well.
so let's take a quick commercial break. Right in Focus with Aflag is sponsored by Aflag, an organization that supports the rise of women, children, and the youth. We do so many things: access to justice and several other economic empowerment for women. We are also being sponsored by Oriental Resort Hotel. As you see this beautiful garden where we are hosting this show, it's fully from Oriental Resort Hotel. You can have your weddings, your birthday parties, all forms of outdoor celebration. Come to Oriental Resort Hotel, and this is shown on Praise TV. A quick commercial break. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Escape to luxury, elegance, and tranquility at Oriental Resort Hotel, your premier destination in North Legon. Whether you are looking for a relaxing getaway, unwind in our spacious, beautifully designed rooms, indulge in exquisite dining, and experience world-class hospitality, enjoy our top-tier conference facilities, all designed for your comfort. Planning a special event? Our beautiful garden provides the perfect setting for outdoor weddings, private parties, and corporate gatherings, offering a breathtaking ambience that makes every occasion unforgettable. At Oriental Resort Hotel, every moment is an experience of luxury and serenity. Book your stay today. Call 0246 518632 or 055 250 4470 or visit our website at www.orientalresortghana.com. Oriental Resort Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Okay, so before we went, Lawyer Noella was making us understand that you don't necessarily need to wait until there is divorce before you try to protect your property or any other interest in the marriage if you feel the other party is going wayward or taking advantage of the situation. Now, we've seen that money is one of the major issues. So now, how do you think people can navigate financial disagreements in a way that will strengthen their relationship rather than, break it or destroy it?
I think it starts from the onset when you are trying to get into the marriage. There are certain things you have to make clear how the two of you want to proceed when it comes to finances. And it should be based on your behavior and how you know each other. So there are some people, and it works perfectly, that will agree that we all declare what we have at any point in time. Let's all decide what we want to invest in the next 5 to 10 years. What money are we allocating for that? What money are we allocating for the running of the house? We agree on expenditure. We agree on savings. We agree on all of that, and it works perfectly for them. It doesn't work for everyone. There are some people that want their individuality. I still want to have a bit of control over my money. You have a bit of control over your money. So let's decide that in the running of our home, we are agreeing that we are spending 10,000 or 15,000 as it increases.
Yeah.
And then Mr. A should bring in 5,000, Mrs. B should bring in 6,000 based on your circumstances. You should have honest and open conversations with regards to these matters. There are other people too that would say that it's not about bringing in money. The man says, I will be in charge of accommodation, I'll be in charge of school fees, I'll be in charge of the bigger things. I want you to take care of running of the home, food stuff, the kids' clothing. If that is what will work for you, have honest conversations. There are certain times things change. People's finances improve. So when you start off, you may have the man being the one with more money or the woman being the one with more money. With time, it changes. So wherever there is a change, sit back, have that genuine, open conversation as to how you should handle your finances.
So in all, there's no specific one rule for it.
No.
Every partner, depending on your financial strength, your
Yes.
level of education, your social or cultural background, everything, use that to determine how
Yes.
you want your finances to be, and don't
Yes.
allow anyone to dictate to you that using this approach or this style is what will work for you. It was working for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It wouldn't.
Yes.
Now, moving on to Apostle Daniel, how do you think faith helps or hinders marriages?
I like this one.
You like that question? Right?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just
no,
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you from the
No, go ahead.
The religious, this
I
thing,
want
I'll
you
come
to go
in.
ahead.
That's
I'm
fine.
giving you my-
So,
go ahead.
I say that I like this one because there are several instances. I'll talk about the hinders first, because there are several divorce matters that we handle that you see that the religious beliefs, the religious congregations do not necessarily help the marriages. Okay, first of all, you have people not telling marriage people the truth. Someone is in a marriage that is not working, in an abusive marriage, and we are saying that the Bible or faith does not allow for divorce, does not allow you to stay there and pray and fast and work it out. And you wait until some of these people are sort of abused physically. Some, it leads to death. A shadow of themselves. And there are sometimes that the people come to you and say, look, this is what is happening. But you see, the church, they are saying we should work it out, and it's not just working. So we will have to look at it. Secondly, you humans, those that are the marriage counselors, those that are the pastors, have their human biases. And these human biases sometimes come into play when they are advising people with regards to marriages that are breaking down. So people should be frank and confront the issues. Yes, you can give spiritual guidance and all of that. Another thing, most of these people that come and don't want to go ahead with asserting certain rights is based on how the guilt and shaming when they go back to church. When we started with the introduction, you said something, and I knew at the appropriate time I'll get it. You said we were married for this number of years and we were the right people to talk. Not necessarily. There are times that someone who has had a broken marriage is in the best position to advise someone going into marriage, to guide the person going into marriage. But we go to churches, they are having youth programs. Who are the ones they are calling to come? People that have been married for 30 years. As he said, that 30 years is only 1 year that they enjoy their marriage. The rest of the 29 years, the woman is being beaten. So are we advising that stay in the marriage, let them abuse you just because you will receive that recognition?
And for me, what even sometimes I find very inappropriate from men of God is when you take issues to them and they tell you that pray. As a woman, pray. Women pray. When a woman prays, God listens. I think it's so unbiblical because as far as marriage is concerned, a man is supposed to be the spiritual head. And if a man is a spiritual head and there's an issue in the marriage, why are you telling the woman to pray? Is it not the man who should wake up in the middle of the night, be on his knees, join all the prayer groups? But no, you rather tell the woman to join Alpha Hour at 12 a.m., join NSPPD at 6 a.m., join whichever one at 7 a.m. And what is the and in all of this, do you know what the woman is praying for? Praying for the man to stop womanizing, praying for the man to stop drinking alcohol, praying for the man to why you are supposed the man is the spiritual head. Why is it that when people come to you with their issues, you tell the woman to go and pray for the men?
You know, from where we have come from over the years, it's believed that the man is the busy one. He's going out there.
So he's busy looking for money at the detriment of his marriage. Oh?
He's the busy one out there looking for whatever to come and take care of the house. But the woman is home. Unlike our time in modern world where the woman is also socially out there, have a corporate person in education, all these stuffs, you know. But most of us base these counsel, these advices on culture basis, traditions. There are people who don't even want to go into the scriptures. Even with the scriptures, they are not in detailed. You know, people interpret the scriptures wrongly, just to suit where they sit as preachers, as spiritual people. Be honest with the people. I've always said that to people. Sometimes these two people are sitting before you and you see that these guys are not compatible. Tell them the
So
truth.
do you advise that? Will you advise a couple you feel are not compatible, or will you advise a woman that you know for a fact that the husband is not ready to change and is not ready to be in the marriage? Will you advise the woman to divorce the man?
Nobody can change anybody.
So
Yeah.
I'm saying the man is not ready to change. I didn't say the woman change the man.
Ama, if I always say with divorce,
No, hold on.
okay.
Will you advise, as a man of God, you've seen clearly the man is not ready to be a better person. Would you tell the woman to save herself the time and energy and end the marriage? Yes or no? Would you?
I will.
Okay, and if it's the woman who is also misbehaving, you can tell the man confidently.
Some
Without
misbehave,
mincing words.
some misbehaviors
Misbehaviors that you don't expect the person to be able to live with. Those kind of misbehaviors.
Ama, let me come in here. You are pushing pastor to the wall too much.
Because I
No,
want to.
you see, at the end of it all, you ended by saying that the person cannot be expected to live with.
Yes.
It's not with the pastor to be able to determine whether you can live with it or not. I even always tell people that before you enter into marriage, there are times you see
So
someone.
what you said, hold on. So I would expect the man of God to be honest enough to tell the woman that no, with what you've said, or tell the man, with everything you've explained to me, are you comfortable? Are you able to?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
know,
expecting.
sometimes
Yes.
you just have to be rational. Yeah, and be human, you know. And that is what that adage that you don't want to be the third person, you are afraid, you are scared, you know, just hit it head on. Yeah, many times it's not within your power to let the people separate. Just tell them the truth.
And let them
Yes.
decide.
Yes, they go and decide.
That's the
And
point.
that's
They
what
do
I
the
want
decision.
you to do. When
Yeah.
you see it,
We are doing
say
it. There's an uprising. We are doing it.
There's an uprising.
Yeah, so,
I like that.
yeah.
Apostle is changing the narrative.
We are
Yes.
doing it.
Okay. Okay, yes.
Yes, so that is it. Because at the end of it all, when it comes to the decision to divorce, it lies with the individual.
Yeah.
There are people that they are living with chronic womanizers, adultery every single day. But they are okay.
They don't mind.
They are capable of living with it. In fact, they are living their lives. Once money is coming in and she's living her life,
She's
going
also-
to Maldives,
she's also-
going, she doesn't,
Yes,
she
yes,
doesn't
yes.
mind. So
You see-
it wouldn't be in my place to say that this is what is happening, go
Yeah.
away. At the end of it all, you have to come to I will expose you to the fact that, look, it's not right for this to happen. This is your right. This is what you should expect.
No, but
This
you
is
see,
what...
if the person is not coming to the pastor to complain, it means they're okay with it. I'm talking about situations where they are not okay with it and so they've come to complain.
Yes, there are people that come to complain. They are coming to complain, one, for pastor to pray for them, two, for pastor to talk to the man, three, to just get someone to vent.
Yeah.
Not because they want to make a decision to leave their marriage. A lot of times, even as a lawyer,
That's what
people
we
come and say,
judgmental.
my husband is doing this, my husband is doing this. Then the next question is, okay, so what do you want us to do? Lawyer, I don't know, because he's just worrying me. He's just worrying me. I'll say, as a lawyer, if I'm speaking to you as a lawyer, for me, it's either I am going to court to seek for a divorce or to seek for certain rights, assert certain of your obvious rights under the law for you. But I cannot go to the court and say you are not comfortable, and then at the end of it all, what am I asking for? Nothing. But if I'm speaking to you as a sister, as a friend, that I can now advise you or allow you to vent. But most people don't want to make that decision as to whether they want to go ahead with the marriage or not. And no one can make that decision for you.
For me, I'm not saying you should expose them to the truth. If
The
you
truth.
know the truth.
Very well.
That is all
I do agree with you.
Expose them to the truth
I-
and allow them to go back and make that decision.
I know a
Yes.
family of 5 ladies. 3 of them married to wealthy guys. The 4th one is married to this young pastor. And the guy, he's fine. You know, these 3 guys married to these ladies are well-to-do. And they are misbehaving big time.
The men or the women?
The men.
Okay.
And nobody, family members are not having meetings to talk about it because they are buying cars every year for mother-in-law. They are buying new houses and the guys are misbehaving. Some are even have other children out there. And no one is hearing it. But this one person who is manning his business with the wife and an issue like he goes out there and comes late. An issue like go and pick the kids from school and it's an issue, big one. You
I
know,
think it all depends on the individual and what they can
I'm
take.
telling you.
When it comes to marriage, it's one of the things I say. Everybody and the quote-unquote bullshit they can take in the marriage.
The truth is that I'm coming. Your husband is different from me.
Yeah.
And my wife is far different from you. So sometimes you may advise people based on your experience. But
Yeah,
the
bias.
human, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Now, another major thing, after talking about faith, I would want us to talk about is the culture expectations and burden on both partners. So when you come to Africa and Ghana to be precise, there is a culture burden on women to take up literally like almost 70 to 80% of the burden in the home, whereas the man also takes like 100% of the financial burden. These culture burdens that society puts on individuals in marriages, how do you think it's affecting marriages?
It's affecting marriages, first of all, with how you progress. You see, when you are working together, it's easier for you to go far compared to when you are working individually. If I wake up in the morning, my husband is helping out with ironing, with fixing breakfast, I am bathing the kids and all of that. We can do that in 1 hour and we'll be out and will not be late. Compared to I getting up and taking care of every single thing before we go. When it comes to yes, including the man for some people, seriously, Then when it comes to finances too, I have heard people make statements, and I sit down maybe because of the peculiarity of my marriage and wonder how someone can say that. A couple goes to rent an accommodation, and then I'm like, okay, looking at your finances, looking at the number of kids you have, you don't need a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, it's his money, so whatever he wanted to do, that is it. And I'm like, no, it cannot be your husband's money. It should be our money, because even if it's individualized management of their money, but if it's going to waste, the long-term goals will not be achieved. So that is something that people have to look at, working together and seeing that, look, whatever is yours is mine. If I would save money for myself, I should work at saving money with regards to my spouse.
Somebody will also say that from experiences, people advise based on experience.
Okay.
Somebody, assuming my mother probably saved a lot and was supportive to the husband and everything, and maybe along the line the husband leaves, okay, at a time that she's down, she would also advise her daughter that no, as you go, make sure you save money for. There is something in the Akan language that they say. There's a way they say it, that as a woman you should have something, a reserve, like
Yes, something
down,
for yourself.
That kind. And for me, I think it's a bad advice, but you can't entirely say it's a bad advice, because that advice is rooted in what experiences of people and how they gave their all to one partner and the partner treated the other person. Now, another thing I want us to look at is there are so many women who complain that their husbands are not supportive when it comes to chores at home. Okay, and so the burden is on them, as you explained. If both partners do it, it makes it faster and easier.
Yeah.
But we all know that a lot of men were orientated, as far as marriage is concerned, to know that this is your role as a man. And for a woman, you've also been orientated to know that this is your role as a woman. But as time goes on, you are burdened, you are tired. You see women become so tired and tattered, and then the men will complain, my wife is not looking pleasant anymore. Forgetting that because of all the burden on her, that's why she's no longer looking pleasant. The man will complain, oh, my wife doesn't even give me sex. Forgetting that she probably planned to give you sex while she was at work. But she go back home, you are doing nothing, cross your leg, and all she did was do all the chores and put the children to bed. So though she had planned to come and give you major sex that night, she's tired, she can't do it anymore. But if you help, now my question is, do you think men do not know they must help? And as such, men are not in our minds. So for this, I will speak for men. Men are not in our minds, okay? They want us to tell them. As a woman, you can only complain if you've told the man over and over, oh, I'm tired, oh, help, take this. And the man is not doing, then you can complain. But we have women who have never told their husbands that, oh, this is too burdensome, oh, this is too this, oh, let's share it, do this.
And in fact, women who encourage their husbands to relax so that they will do it. Women who go to other women's house and see men helping and they find issues with it. That's, when I went to this person's thing, can you imagine, is the husband that was washing the dishes, that was doing dishes, is the husband that was dressing the kids out. So there are women who do that. But for me, right now, in as much as we even focus on marriages that exists and how to resolve these issues, my focus is the marriages that are coming up. Talk. Have these honest conversations. When you are getting into marriage, what is it that you expect your man to do and help? What do you want this man to do to help you in the marriage? As you are going into, in fact, in the dating scene, if he finished eating and he's left his plate there, and you are the type that will expect that when you marry, your husband should help you with doing the dishes. Your husband should be the one to take care of certain responsibilities. That talk should start from the dating stage. Allow him to also do some of the work and talk about it. Let him know that, look, if we have 3, 4 kids, I would expect you to help me. If you go to the house and his mom is doing some work and he's seated with his legs crossed, he's doing nothing to help his mother, you should be able to have those honest conversations with him that, look, I was expecting that as I came and mommy is doing this work. You'll be there helping mom with it. And see his reaction. If he's someone that is not going to help and you are okay with marrying a man that will not help, that is your decision. But if you ask for all those things to be done and the person is not doing it, then clearly you know that this is what you are going in for.
And I think that is why a lot of men say that women pretend and after you marry,
Yes.
you change. Because you can't do this. But in the courtship, you don't state it.
Yes.
You are quiet because you are scared that if you say it, the man will not marry you. But you need to own your truth. Your truth is that you cannot wash. Your truth is that you cannot stand on your feet to cook every day.
Yes.
So because of that, babe, this is my reality. Do you still want me and will you marry me? But no, women won't do that. And also, this goes to men. Instead of accepting them for who they are when they tell you no, you rather say you want the one. So women will also continue to pretend. Let's move to
Amma,
you know,
I have one last thing to say. It's very important to me.
They are giving me all the signals to end.
I have one last thing to say. It's very important to me. And it goes to
1 minute.
it goes to parents, mothers, fathers.
Okay.
How you bring up your child in the house is what is eventually going to affect their marriages in future. In my house, the same roles my son performs, my daughter performs. So my son knows he's supposed to do dishes, he's supposed to scrap, he's supposed to wash. My daughter knows he's supposed to do these things. So if you grow up knowing that you are supposed to do all these things in your own house, when you are married, it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be your wife telling you to do it because you already know. You have been brought up culturally, socially, at the home to know that this is what is expected of you, whether there is a wife in the house or not. So let's all start it from our children.
Thank you, Lawyer Brenda.
you know,
Please.
this
Your last remarks.
parenting and father, mother, mother-in-law, father-in-law. Many times, some homes have servants that supports in taking care of the chores at home, and then they support whatever that goes on in the house. So such people grow in such homes, not their fault, because if they had given the opportunity, they would have done whatever they were supposed to do. They were going to grow in the way they nurture them, how they take up responsibility. But because they were people that were at home helping them, they couldn't do these things. And they grow to find themselves in the hand of a man who was taught how to do house chores, to cook, take care of kids, do all these basic things at home, and still had to go look for money to take care of the family. You know, let me use myself as an example. I get up as early as 4 a.m., take care of 2 kids, bath them, take them to school, pick them up from school, help them do their homeworks, polish their shoes, iron for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about the time where you were taking the firstborn to the bank.
Don't worry.
As a manager, the baby is in the court, the baby is in his office and he's working.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't less reduce
You
as a man.
Yes.
Yeah. Where I was coming from. In fact, I learned it. There were times I'll go on Google and I want to learn how a man can take care of babies. You know, equally the man can be tired sometimes, and you are not giving attention to your wife, you are not giving her intimacy, you are tired. It is not easy taking care of children, even as a man or a woman. You know, so sometimes we will bring them up from where homes they were well taken care of, but at the end of the day, they find themselves in the wrong hands. The wrong women and the wrong men. And whatever we're expecting from them, we are not able to. And they end up struggling and suffering, and the marriage end up breaking.
Thank you so much for coming.
There's a lot we have to say. You are
I'm
stopping
telling
us.
you a lot.
There's a lot we have to
A lot.
discuss as far as marriage is concerned, but we've gone past our time completely. Now, to our viewers, marriage is not all about romance or love. Neither is it all about faith or culture. It's about responsibility. It's about respect and it's about integrity. You need to understand that if you love somebody, You do not want to see the person suffering whilst you look elsewhere. Love means if you see me suffering because I'm doing the chores and it's burdening me, you will quickly come in because you love me and you don't want to see me suffer. If I also love my husband and I see that the financial burden is on him too much, because I love him and I don't want him to be burdened, I would do what? I would do everything within my means to support. Marriage is a divine institution, whether we like it or not. It's not a legal contract. Of course, we have to look at the legal aspect. But the person who ordained marriage is God. We may deny it and give all theories, but it is God who ordained marriage, and God has his own ways, his own standards that he's given. If you want your marriage to work, go according to how the one he gave the manual for marriage. Why are you not following his manual? He said you should love and protect. He said you should be supportive. You are partners. Why don't you treat each other as partners? Why are you treating one person as your banker and another person also treating the other party as a slave? That is not what God intended for marriage. And also, one very important thing, know that however you treat your marriage will have a reflection on your children. So do well and do the best for your marriage. Marriage is a very important institution in our society. Until next time, thank you so much to our guests for coming. You made this conversation very interesting. But before you leave, we have gifts for you. So thank you so much, Apostle Daniel.
Thank you
For coming.
Thank you.
And I hope that when we call you next, you will come.
I'll be here. Thank you. Wow, it's
And
beautiful.
also, Loyanuela,
Thank
this
you.
is
I
specially
appreciate it.
for you.
Appreciate.
Thank
you
you.
so
It's
much. for
beautiful.
coming.
God bless you.
Until next time, see you. It's been me, your host, Miss Lupe. Bye.
This show is brought to you by Aflag, Praise TV, and Oriental Resort Hotel.